Chapter 7, Managing Applications. In this chapter, you will learn about the application management options available for Windows 7. The following topics are included: planning for local and network applications, installing, configuring, and removing applications, using group policy for application control, understanding application virtualization, and the difference between services and standard applications. Applications can be installed locally or they can run from the network. In this chapter, you will learn about both application types. Localized applications are programs that are installed and run on the local machine. These applications are the traditional application types, and they are accessed through shortcuts or by directly accessing the application program files. Localized applications include executable files with an extension of .exe or .com, batch files with an extension of .bat or .cmd extension, document files like the .doc for Word or .ppt for PowerPoint, web pages, and other internet-based applications. It is common to run 64-bit versions of Windows 7, and this version has two different locations for applications. The 32-bit applications are stored in one location by default, and the 64-bit applications are stored in another. Keep in mind, if you have older legacy 16-bit applications, they will not run natively on a 64-bit version of Windows 7. Networked applications fall into two categories: networked applications with client-based components installed, and networked applications executed entirely from the network. Cloud-based applications run on networked computing infrastructures, and you see the results of their execution. The applications are not downloaded to your local machine. The Microsoft Office 365 applications are an example of cloud-based applications. Google Documents are another example. In both cases, a web browser with the appropriate plugins or add-ins is required, but no additional application components must be installed on the local machine. This figure shows the Office 365 version of Microsoft Word running in the Internet Explorer web browser. Applications can be installed interactively or automatically. Interactive installations require that the support professional or user run the installation process and answer any questions asked by the installation. Common information that must be provided when installing applications includes these items: name of the user, product ID keys or serial numbers, installation locations, and for whom the application should be made available. Windows Installer is an installation and application configuration service that runs on Windows operating systems. Windows Installer provides several advanced features for application management, including these: the ability to install multiple patches to the OS or applications within a single routine without requiring multiple reboots, the ability to install multiple installation packages as a single transaction, allowing for a rollback to the previous state if any of the individual installation packages fail, the ability to advertise applications and features according to the OS so that only available features are shown, standard application installation features such as copying files, creating and modifying registry entries, configuring application settings, and creating shortcuts. Group policy provides an infrastructure for application deployment. If you want to use group policy for application deployment, the following elements must be in place. The Windows clients must be members of an Active Directory domain services domain. The MSI files to be deployed must be located in a network share that the users can access with at least read permissions, and a group policy object must be created in the Active Directory domain services domain to deploy the applications. This figure shows the interface within a GPO for application deployment. In this case, the application is Microsoft Baseline Security Analyzer 2.1. When an application is deployed through group policy, it can either be published or assigned. An application that is published is made available but is not necessarily installed automatically. When an application is assigned, it installs automatically the next time the user logs onto the machine. When you deploy a Windows Installer application or MSI file through group policy, it will install without user interaction. After installing an application, you may be able to configure it using the installation engine that was used to install it initially. If the installation engine supports reconfiguration of the installation, you will see a Change button available in the Programs and Features control panel. You can also use the Programs and Features applet to uninstall or remove an application. To remove an application using Programs and Features, follow the steps listed here. In some cases, the application may not show up in the Programs and Features applet. This means that it was installed using a custom installation engine that did not place the uninstall information into the system registry. The application may have a custom uninstallation engine as well. Check the application's installation directory in such cases. If an uninstallation engine is available, it will most likely be located in the application directory or folder. If no such uninstallation engine is available, the application will have to be removed manually. To do so, follow these steps. The Windows registry is a sensitive portion of the operating system. It is easily corrupted and damaged when you are not fully aware of its structure and functionality. Great caution should always be taken when working in the registry, and you should make backups of any keys where you plan to make changes or deletions. This slide tells you how to export or make a backup of your registry. You can use group policy to restrict application installations directly in two ways. First, you can remove the Programs and Features page so that users cannot add Windows operating system features that are not already installed on their machines. Second, you can explicitly restrict access to installation routines using AppLocker. To remove the Programs and Features page, follow these steps on a local machine. AppLocker is a new feature in Windows 7, included in Enterprise and Ultimate editions only, that provides for advanced software restrictions, including the control of Windows installer routines. If you want to use AppLocker, the following must be true. You are running Windows 7 Enterprise or Ultimate editions on all clients you wish to control through AppLocker. The Application Identity Service is configured to start automatically when the Windows 7 client starts. This figure shows the AppLocker interface within a Group Policy Object, or GPO, on Windows Server 2008 R2. Notice the Windows Installer Rules section. This section is used to restrict installation routines. As an alternative method, you can block all access to Windows Installer. Although it is rare to completely disable Windows Installer, Microsoft provides this option because many organizations create Windows clients that are entirely locked down. One method users often employ to install applications is to launch the installation from removable media. Several policies exist for controlling removable media, and they are located in the Administrative Templates, a System Removable Storage Access section of the GPO. This figure shows the Group Policy Management Editor with the Removable Storage Access Policy settings displayed. Application virtualization is a solution that allows applications or even entire desktops to run on servers or in the cloud while appearing as local applications or desktops to the users. Microsoft offers two solutions to assist with application virtualization: MEDV and Virtual Desktop Infrastructure, or VDI. Microsoft Enterprise Desktop Virtualization, MEDV, allows legacy applications, including Internet Explorer-based applications, to run on Windows 7. MEDV workspaces are created and deployed to Windows 7 clients so that users can run previous versions of Internet Explorer for application compatibility or other legacy applications that work on Windows XP but do not work on Windows 7. The benefits of MEDV are presented on this slide. Do not confuse MEDV with AppV. Application virtualization, or AppV, is used to provide applications to users without actually installing them on their machine as normal applications. MEDV requires that Windows Virtual PC be installed on the clients, and AppV does not. AppV uses a special client to run the applications. This client provides the following virtualized components for the AppV applications: virtual drives or file systems, virtual registry, virtual COM objects, virtual services, virtual fonts, virtual INI files, and virtual process environment. The Microsoft Virtual Desktop Infrastructure, VDI, is a bundling of multiple Microsoft technologies together into a single licensing package for organizations seeking to deploy virtual desktops. Virtual desktops are virtual machines running on servers and made available to Windows clients or thin clients across the network. Microsoft provides a standard license and a premium license for VDI. The benefits of each license is listed on this slide. A service is an application or operating system component that runs on a computer and provides services to the local machine, the networked devices, or both. In most cases, services run in the background, meaning that they do not have a visual interface that you can see on the computer's desktop. While a few services may be exceptions to this rule, they are also exceptions to the common practice of service deployment. The service itself should not be confused with the service management tools or interfaces that allow administrators and users to configure the service. The textbook provides a list of common services and their function. Services can be configured with many different settings. The settings impact the way a service starts and recovers. They also impact the privileges the service will have. The first thing you should understand is the various service startup types. Automatic services configured to start automatically when the operating system starts. Automatic delayed start services will start after all services configured for automatic start. A manual startup type indicates that the service will not start automatically. However, it may be started when needed by a user or by an application that requires its use. A disabled service is one that will not be started automatically and cannot be started manually. This figure shows the service application identity properties with a startup type of manual. Like all applications, services may fail. If a service fails, the Windows Server operating system supports recovery actions. These actions include restarting the service, running a program, restarting the computer, or doing nothing. Service accounts may be used to run services in the context of a user account. In most cases, service accounts are created specifically for the services that use them, and real users never log on to those accounts. If you have used Microsoft Office, you know that they can use the various applications in the suite together. For example, you can take a graph generated in Excel and load it into PowerPoint. Even though the graph is in PowerPoint, you can double-click it and edit it as if it were still in Excel. To perform these actions, both Excel and PowerPoint must be installed on the same computer. They depend on each other to provide this functionality. In a similar way, services may depend on other services. If a dependency service is not running, the dependent service may fail to start or simply not function correctly. In this chapter, you'll be reading more about planning for local and network applications, installing, configuring, and removing applications, using group policy for application control, understanding application virtualization, and the difference between services and standard applications.